Ciao ragazzi, ben arrivati, eccoci qua. Ovviamente ringrazio Simone che ora tra poco si aggregherà a me e Andrew e vi ringrazio di essere come al solito così numerosi. Se avete domande naturalmente per Andrew, per il nostro Lairdinho, come tutti lo conosciamo, l'head of content di Sorare Data, ovviamente scriveteli qui nella chat e noi le tradurremo e insomma rilanceremo ad Andrew. Ovviamente ragazzi facciamo come sempre, come quando abbiamo avuto Matsuyama qualche giorno fa. Io parlerò in inglese con Andrew e poi tradurrò le cose che ci stiamo dicendo, insomma, quindi sarà un po' così. Se già volete scrivere le domande in inglese per Andrew, ovviamente è meglio, così mi risolvete un problema. So I was saying to our chat that if they have questions for you, it's better if they write them down in English, so it will be faster for me to do
Yes.
it. So Andrew, thank you to we really appreciate, all the Italian community really appreciate to have you here with us, and Sorare Data is the tools that everyone we are using. I am a star. I'm star in Sorare Data, so I am using it a lot. Probably 5 or 6 hours of my day is in Sorare Data. So my family is not so happy, but I do really appreciate all the work that you and all the others in Sorare Data are doing. And I have the first question for you is this one. How was Sorare Data born?
First, thank you for having me, and thank you to everyone who is joining us. Even though some of you may not know what I am saying, hopefully you'll end up figuring it out. But Sorare Data was born by Maxime Hagenbouget, who was an early Sorare user, and at the time there really was nothing about how much cards were selling for, and that's really where it started. And then how many points everyone was scoring, you had to rely completely on Sorare to get it. And he is a blockchain and crypto and database expert, and built a site that he could have kept for himself and known what every transaction on the site was, and knew how much cards were selling for. And instead, he decided to open it to the community. And it kind of just grew from there because he is kind of a programming magician. And if basically people came to him and said, "Can you add this? Can you add this? Can you add this?" And slowly the site became the most important thing on the platform. I remember when I joined, I actually spoke with somebody from Sorare, and they told me to go to Sorare Data to figure out which cards to buy and whatnot. And so it was built as a tool to help the community understand Sorare better in terms of the marketplace and players that they should try to target. And about a
And
year and a
we
half
can
ago.
all say that you have done a great job in,
Thank you, thank
for
you. I
us,
think,
for all of us, for all of us, of course.
yeah, a lot of the stuff that we came up with is just because we also play the game. And I was going
Yeah,
to say, so it used to be just Maxime.
that we talked about with Andrew about Sorare, but we will talk about this a little later. The important thing is that you all the people that are working around Sorare or in Sorare, maybe it's the important thing is that they will play the game or they are playing the game. So we
Yeah,
see that Sorare Data, all of you are playing the game, knowing all the things that maybe are needed, or maybe just because you are playing, you can understand what the community are asking to you to improve.
yes, that's
So
that's
sorry, I will translate just a little bit. Allora
sure, sure.
ragazzi, ragazzi, allora Andrew gli ho chiesto, no, quando è nata Sorare Data, ci ha raccontato appunto che Maxim Scherberg, mi sembra che si chiami così, il fondatore, era un giocatore proprio entrato all'inizio di Sorare e si domandava come potesse, è un programmatore, come potesse insomma cercare di avere tutte le notizie possibili e immaginabili sui risultati, le average score dei giocatori, le transaction insomma che avvenivano fra i fra i singoli manager, e quindi a un certo punto ha programmato Sorare Data. Ma la cosa importante di tutto, poi insomma ha raccontato quando Andrew è entrato, anche lui ovviamente è stato indirizzato dallo stesso team di Sorare a Sorare Data, perché appunto è lì poi insomma ha cominciato a collaborarci, ma la cosa importante, che è una cosa che noi diciamo sempre rispetto a Sorare, è dettata dal fatto che bisogna conoscere il gioco, e quello che io ringraziavo insomma Andrew è proprio questo, cioè loro sono prima di tutto dei giocatori, come lo siamo noi. Per quello sono anche ricettivi molto di più di quanto non lo sia la piattaforma stessa, la stessa Sorare, insomma nei confronti insomma di ciò che gli viene detto. How many people are working now in Sorare Data, Andrew?
I think it's about 10 of us now.
Wow.
Yeah, there's a lot going on. And like I said, it used to be just Maxime. And then we had a fundraising. He decided to leave his previous job and try to make Sora Data a business in itself. And so he raised money about a year and a half ago, and that helped hire all of the people that work here now. And we have some that are developers who help build the site. We have designers. We have kind of product managers. I'm there. So it's, I think, one of the things that some of the feedback we got when we started the memberships was that the site had always been free, and that it should stay free. And while we would love it to be free for everybody, I don't think the site, well, not that I don't think, the site could not be what it is today without the 10 or so people that work there. And as much as we would love to be able to work for free, we can't. These are our
Well,
jobs.
well, everyone needs
And
to be
so,
paid if it is working. Sorry, Andrew. There is another guest of our tribe. Simone Lamella is here with us.
hello?
Hello. Nice to meet you, Andrew.
You too, you too.
Allora, Simone, Andrew ci stava a raccontare, gli ho chiesto un po' come è nato Sorare Data e quante persone lavorano oggi, ci raccontava che sono 10, quindi non sono nemmeno tantissimi, e insomma che cosa stavano facendo, che cosa non stavano facendo, e ora andiamo un po' più nel dettaglio, gli chiederò se secondo loro Sorare Data sta facendo bene, insomma, rispetto a ciò che si aspettavano. Do you think, Andrew, that Sorare Data, that you are doing well your job as you were supposed to do, at was in your thoughts, your dreams?
This is way beyond any, like, I never thought anything like this would happen. So it's very exciting because every day it's something new with Sorare, and so therefore something new with Sorare Data. That's kind of what we were saying before, that because we play the game, we kind of know what people want.
So
Because we
sorry,
know
Hugo
what we want.
Ibiza is saying, Andrew, to let you know I'm very happy about my stand member.
Well, good. Thank you for joining. And yeah, our goal with everything we do is to make the Sorare experience, meaning how you and all of the users play, better. And so whether it's building tools that save you time or let you have data that is basically not easily available anywhere else, that's everything that we do. Is we want to make the experience better, and because we play, we know what parts we want to be better, and so that's how we work to do that, both in football and with now NBA and with MLB when it comes back in a few months.
No spoiler, we will talk about it just a bit little later. Allora, traduco quello che ha detto Andrew. Cioè, Simo, lui ha detto tra l'altro una cosa interessantissima, che loro son tutti giocatori.
Mhm.
Cioè, tutti loro, a differenza, parlavamo di Sorare, che invece si vede, anche Andrew è d'accordo con quello che diciamo noi, che a Sorare non giocano al gioco, non lo conoscono e quindi fanno cambiamenti
Abbastanza
senza
palese.
conoscere il gioco. Quindi avevamo ragione. E lui diceva appunto che quindi, insomma, cercano di fare il tutto più velocemente possibile, ovviamente in base anche a quelli che sono i feedback della community e quello, insomma, che loro stessi vedono che deve essere implementato. Quindi, insomma, le cose stanno andando molto veloce. Poi prima ha detto che avrebbero voluto tenerlo for free, per tutta la vita, però insomma poi ci devono lavorare, ci devono sopravvivere e quindi questo è. Simo, te hai una domanda per Andrew?
Io sì, essendo grande fan del canale YouTube e penso di aver visto
Sì,
l'80%.
Simone Lamella is a big fan of yours YouTube channel. And me
Oh,
too, eh. We are all a big fans.
no,
Penso di
thank
aver
you very
visto.
much. As you know, there's always something to talk about, so
Yeah.
it's easy to do something.
And someone, in fact, is saying, "Where is Sean? I love him."
Yeah, I would guess that is Sean. So I'm not gonna. No, yeah, Sean is great. Sean has a uh, very good perspective on Sorare, from particularly with somebody with his gallery. A lot of times we see people who compete at the top levels don't always like to talk about what it takes to do that, because they think maybe it hurts their own success because it's helping
Yeah.
others get better. So
Secret tips, no? Secret tips.
yes, yeah.
Not to be revealed, not to be revealed.
So I'm appreciative that Sean is willing to share his perspective on things, and he can be very passionate with his opinions, and so hopefully we can get all the secrets out of him when he's on stream.
Vai Simo.
No, io volevo chiedergli proprio quello che dicevo prima nella live, cioè visto che loro fanno degli ottimi contenuti, se sono mai stati contattati da Sorare per fare questo lavoro ufficialmente, per Sorare. Perché comunque quello che manca, secondo me, ma penso secondo noi in generale nella community nostra della tribe, è la comunicazione e dei contenuti, che aiutino l'utenza. Cioè, perché lo deve fare Sorare Data e non lo può fare Sorare stesso? Cioè, perché non si interfacciano, ecco. Ovviamente questo più lato Sorare verso di loro che il contrario, chiaramente.
So Simone was saying if Sorare has contacted you to try to let you do inside Sorare what you are doing Sorare Data, all of you, not only you, Andrew, all the staff, the team of Sorare Data in Sorare itself.
I get this question a lot, not from Sorare, but I think so Sorare is an investor in Sorare Data. So that when we had our fundraising round, they were one of our investors.
Okay.
But they have no control over what we do, and so we are very independent. And one of the things that a lot of people don't appreciate with that question is whether we want to work for Sorare. Because we really like playing the game and we like building tools that help make the game better.
Because so sorry, Andrew. Because if you work for Sorare, you must not have an account on Sorare,
Yes.
right?
Yes. And so I won't say that we would always say no. There's always some amount of money that you say, okay, that's fine. But we haven't had, as far as I know, and those discussions are for higher up than me, but we prefer to stay independent and be able to play the game because we enjoy it, and we think that what we do is more beneficial to the community separate from Sorare.
Thanks. Allora, vabbè, Simone, penso abbia capito,
Sì, sì,
insomma,
sì.
questa la riporto a tutti. Mi sembra veramente anche, tra l'altro, una bella risposta a parte di Andrew, che ringraziamo, ovviamente poi glielo dirò anche in inglese, da parte nostra. Nel senso, l'idea è che Sorare Data rimanga indipendente, staccata da Sorare, per una serie di motivi. La primo è che così questo permette a loro di continuare a giocare, perché comunque gli piace il gioco, gli piace giocare, e se dovessero essere assunti, come è successo al famoso Zurav, non potrebbero poi più avere un account e dovrebbero semplicemente guardare il gioco da fuori. La seconda cosa è che gli piace proprio lavorare ai tools che aiutino i manager. Questa è la questione secondo me estremamente significativa e che mi fa vedere Sorare Data anche in un'altra luce, onestamente, rispetto anche a alcune, come sappiamo, difetti che magari ci sono nel gioco. Someone is asking you this, is one of the question I have for you, not a serious one, but this one. Why is right and left swapped informations, Andrew?
I thought we fixed it.
Yeah?
Is it back? Or I think we fixed it.
Finally! Incredible. Thank you a lot.
I don't know why that happened for so long, but it bothered me as well. But I'm looking at my own screen here.
Everything was incredible. The tools, the features, we can do a lot of things, but there
and that
was
one,
this.
yeah. No, I think I'm looking here at Liverpool, and Trent Alexander-Arnold's on the right side.
Sì, ma applausi qui, applausi.
The applause are one of those where Sorare makes a small fix and everyone gets very happy, but we should have fixed that a long time ago. So thank you for that.
Okay, we have another question. Oh, okay. When will be opened the Sorare Data competitions?
We are putting our efforts more into the lineup projection competition that we have. We think that helps the community more than the Sorare Data competitions that were mostly won by people with very large galleries who didn't really need more star cards themselves. And we thought that the lineup projection game would benefit those who have better knowledge of certain teams or leagues, and to be able to encourage people to compete there. We moved the rewards over there. So I don't think, I wouldn't say that the Sorare Data competitions are gone forever, but our priority now is on the lineup projections, which...
So the NBA concept lineup builder coming soon. Someone asking.
Yes. There's actually, it should be available now in beta, but it's in the regular lineup builder. It's not a separate tool.
Wow, this
yes.
would be amazing. And Simo, hai un'altra domanda, poi se lo andrei io. Vai te.
Ho una domanda scottante però.
Aspetta, Simo, una cosa, ragazzi, se avete domande, siccome vedete tocca tradurre, guardare, rifare, riscrivetele, se magari sono passate, ok? Perché magari state scrivendo in tanti e ci passano.
Una domanda piccante.
Sì.
Ci sarà mai la possibilità, o se c'è già mai stata una discussione positiva ovviamente, tra di loro e Play Sharper per collaborare insieme, o
ma
se
Simo, ma così mi
rimarranno...
metti in difficoltà anche a me.
Chiederglielo.
Simone has a spicy question, as he said, for you, Andrew. Do you know I work with Play Sharper? I'm the K1 expert for Spicer and his company. So Simone is asking, did you never figure it out to cooperate Sorare Data and Play Sharper
for the lineups? It's
or in general, or for the lineups in general. So.
Yeah. I didn't have any discussions myself. I think I assume that Spicer and Maxime would be the ones to talk. I don't know if they have or not, but it is something that that seems to, I mean, the projected lineups are certainly something we obviously want on Sorare Data. That's why we have the new competition. So I don't know, but I think it makes sense that if we both do certain things, then a collaboration might work. I don't know.
I don't know, non lo so, è stato politically correct, Andrew. Very politically correct. I appreciate that. I appreciate that. È stato
I will say
politically
that
correct.
I use Play Sharper to help with my own lineup building, just to make sure I don't miss anything. So it's not like there's some sort of competition there. I think it's a valuable tool for the community, and it's just helpful to make sure that you're getting all of the information that you may have missed.
Fantastico, grande Andrew, grande Andrew. Insomma, Andrew ha detto una cosa chiara, stiamo a parlare Maxime e Spicer, ovviamente. Spicer ora è tutto preso dall'NBA, quindi vediamo se riuscirà a avere del tempo per farlo. Però, insomma, ha fatto anche complimenti a Sharp, dicendo che la usa lui stesso, insomma, Play Sharper, quindi per avere poi conferma sulle lineup. Quindi, insomma, non è detto che prima o poi non arrivi con la collaborazione. Mi permetto di dire che spero che avvenga, perché alla fine poi sono due tools sostanzialmente diversi, quindi anzi sarebbe comodissimo se le cose si integrassero in qualche modo, anzi sarei molto molto felice. Che ne dici, Simo?
Ah sì, beh, ma magari, per questo lo chiedevo, perché cioè, averle tutte e due sulla stessa piattaforma sarebbe top, perché cioè, immagina le integrazioni che potresti fare, no? Cioè sarebbe molto molto figo.
We are talking about that. It would be amazing if there was a cooperation really about Play Sharper and Sorare Data. They're doing different things substantially, not the same. So it would be great for all of us, for you and for all of us, for all the community, of course. Allora, altre domande.
Actually,
Yeah,
that's exactly
go
what
on.
I was going to.
Reading the
So-
collaboration with external providers like Rotowire, how does it work? Did you contact them for it?
Yes. So we did contact them. I used to work for Rotowire, so it was easy to contact them because I used to work there. So one of the reasons that we did the fundraising round and why we opened up the membership plan is because deals like the one we have with Rotowire cost money. And we have a deal with Opta with all of the stats, which is why we can get all of the stats on
Also
Sorare
with
Data.
Transfermarkt.
Yep.
Yeah.
And so those things cost money, and therefore we need to make money in order to pay those things. So the Rotowire deal is with for NBA Now, and it's all of their projections that we feed into our projection page and the lineup builder and the news that comes with it. And we have gotten requests to do something similar for football with at least more injury news. And the problem is that because there are so many leagues and so many players, there's not a single company that can do it all.
No,
and
it's impossible.
Right. And so what we try to do is some companies will only do the Premier League, and some will only do La Liga. And it didn't feel right to only have certain leagues covered for news. And so that's why we don't have it for football. And it's much easier for NBA because they're only
one league,
hundreds of players instead of thousands of but so basically, yes, we contact Opta and Rotowire, and we say we'd like to buy your stats or your projections, and then it's a basic technical issue at that point with their API, and we just are able to produce it. But it's the Opta cost is very high, and I knew that from when I was at Rotowire. And it's that was a big reason why we wanted to start having memberships, because Opta information is free on some sites. There are other sites where you can see like who scored and SofaScore and what's the other one that I always forget? FOTMob. And I know those are free, but they also don't have Sorare scores on them, or have exactly the stats that we have on Sorare. And so that's why We have them on Sorare data. We didn't want to rely on just scores from the Sorare API. A lot that we have on our site is just from the Sorare API, but the stats specifically are from Opta, and so we can do whatever we want with them because we pay for them.
Yeah, yeah. That's great. Allora ragazzi, ha detto che RotoWire per ora hanno fatto un accordo, con RotoWire per l'NBA, che li aiuterà poi insomma quando uscirà il tool sulla line-up, sulle injuries, su tutto ovviamente. Mentre questo, ragazzi, lo sappiamo tutti perché stiamo giocando anche noi a Sorare, è impossibile trovare una singola applicazione che riesca a dare i dati precisi per migliaia, decine di migliaia di giocatori che ci sono in giro per il mondo e che sono coperti anche dalla stessa Sorare, per quello RotoWire non è così precisa sul calcio, ma non può esserlo nessuno sostanzialmente. Loro al momento poi non hanno fatto accordi con le singole leghe, perché con singoli partner per le singole leghe, perché non vorrebbero favorire alcune leghe piuttosto che altre, perché lui diceva sulla Liga, sulla Premiership, sulla Bundes ci sono, ma anche in Italia ci sono siti che si occupano di Serie A in esclusiva e potrebbero, però in qualche modo magari ci sono altri campionati dove questa cosa non succede e quindi niente. Poi raccontava appunto che comunque hanno deciso di mantenere la relazione con Opta, anche se è molto cara, come dice giustamente Andrew, perché comunque sono i dati che ci sono dentro a Sorare, altrimenti sarebbe, cioè che cavolo fai? Fai un'app come Sorare Data e poi è falsata perché non usa lo stessi termini di paragone con Sorare. Quindi diceva, alcuni dati gli arrivano dall'API di Sorare, ma altri direttamente da Opta, quindi loro hanno dei dati che Sorare sostanzialmente non usa, che invece noi vediamo ovviamente all'interno di Sorare Data. Questo è la
Perché
cosa, no?
possono manipolare i dati di Opta come vogliono, quindi riescono
Esattamente.
a gestire meglio quel tipo di "materia prima" tra virgolette.
It would be awesome to eventually have the possibility to build the Sorare lineup directly on Sorare Data, leveraging all the news that Sorare Data provides. Is it something that you are considering, or is it not possible at all?
We would love it.
Well,
I would love it.
also
Um,
us, also.
yeah.
Love it.
There are a few things you have to think about when you ask for something like this. I think one of the things that people who come from the daily fantasy sports background is you can do that. You can build lineups and then you download a CSV, a spreadsheet, and you can upload them to the DFS site.
Okay.
So that concept exists. Where it gets tough is whether you want third-party sites, which we are, to have access to do things on your Sorare account that are not just looking at it. And
Okay.
so there's a bit of a security concern that if
Yes.
somebody can use it maliciously, then something can happen to your account.
Yeah.
And if there was a safe way to do it, I think it's something that we would look into. But I'm not sure I want a third-party site to be able to submit my lineups, which then maybe they post my cards on the secondary market, and I would rather be able to do that myself. And so I like the idea, but the security part is where and I don't think Sorare wants third-party sites the ability to have access in that way to our accounts.
Ragazzi, per il momento ovviamente quello che noi succede quando diamo a loro, a Sorare Base o a Sharper la possibilità, no, di agganciare il nostro account al loro sito, in realtà è solo per guardare il nostro account, cioè non ci possono interagire direttamente. Quindi quello che diceva Andrew è che sarebbe un passaggio successivo nel controllo della sicurezza della relazione fra il nostro account e loro, e ovviamente qualcuno di malicious, come ha detto Andrew, potrebbe provare poi dopo a mettere le nostre carte in vendita e poi non è convinto che nemmeno Sorare stessa abbia voglia di dare alla third party questa ampia disponibilità di accesso alla propria piattaforma. Quindi per il momento loro cercheranno di capire se è possibile farlo nel futuro, altrimenti insomma per il momento rimangono così. Simo, qualche domanda per Andrew? Un'altra? Se ce l'hai, se no si
No,
va con quelle, ce
no,
n'ho
no, vai pure
3000,
con
ce n'ho
quelle della
3000.
chat. Sì, sì.
Allora, other questions from the chat. This one about what we were talking offline with Andrew, because with Andrew we talked about the news on Sorare, in particular about the deadline. Do you prefer, like an American, I will say, this new lineups deadline, or it wasn't so necessary to change it?
I
Silence.
I don't like it.
I don't like it. Okay.
The deadline now for me is 6 a.m., which means I do my lineups Thursday night.
So sorry, Andrew. Where do you live, if I can ask?
Right outside of New York.
New York. Okay.
Yeah. So the new deadline means I can get more news in the morning before I submit my lineups, which is good. But I also have players from the K League and J League that I will then not be able to use for weekend game weeks, because they'll be part of this double game week or the midweek when I don't have other players that I could pair with them. And so when the announcement came, the one that immediately comes to mind, I have super rares of Osmar and Lehan Bum from FC Seoul.
Yes.
And I like to play them with either MLS players or European players when the seasons are together. And I might not be able to now for certain game weeks because they'll be in the midweek and the cards I would play with them are on the weekend. And I think that's bad. We were saying before we came live that Sorare had this big announcement of all these new game modes and great ways to play, and a free game for Serie A and La Liga. And everyone just wants to talk about the deadline because,
four phrases, maybe 4 phrases.
Right. And it's disappointing that this was the solution without really any notice or even notice that they were thinking about it. And I think that it affects a lot more people and many more lineups than they thought. And I hope that they will reconsider it, or when the European seasons end, maybe they move it back so that we can get more utility from these cards. It's disappointing because I know we have the K League schedule, so we know the games that are there. We don't know the J League one yet, but it could be that there are that those games are affected too. And so I don't know. I don't think it was good.
Ok, ragazzi, vedete, anche Andrew, Andrew è americano, come molti qui nella chat stanno sempre a parlare l'MLS, però dice esattamente quello che abbiamo detto noi, perché bisogna guardare il disegno complessivo. Cioè, a parte che Andrew, come vedete, appunto, come molti di noi, ha anche carte, tra l'altro 2 super rare buonissime come Osman e Liam Baum, dice anche molto buone le super rare, e che voleva smashare con altri campionati, ma dice una roba incredibile, cioè giustamente, come abbiamo detto noi, cioè che è disappointed, tra l'altro che è una parola bellissima inglese che non c'è una traduzione reale in italiano, e che rende molto bene, nel senso, cioè, come dire, m'ha fatto incazzare un casino, si direbbe in italiano questa cosa, anche se è più elegante ovviamente, perché cioè hanno fatto sto papello, il gameplay, e poi a un certo punto ti cambiano la deadline che non ha un grande motivo di fare, cioè, e oltretutto lui dice una cosa che ribadisce una cosa che noi abbiamo detto con Simone tantissimo, ma anche ieri sera nel
Miliardo di volte.
salottino, cioè che alla fine 1 non era necessaria e 2 sostanzialmente loro non si aspettavano di creare questo problema.
E si è
Non si
parlato di
aspettavano.
quello e non di tutte le modifiche.
we are all talking about this single thing, no, Andrew, and not about all the gameplay. There are modifiers with all news, things to do, a lot of things to do in Sorare, but they decided that, or maybe not decided. I don't know, Andrew. I don't think they made it in proposal. Probably they didn't really think what could happen.
Yeah, it reminded me of when they made the scoring matrix change, and they talked about how few players were affected.
Yeah.
But some players were affected greatly, and that's different than the number of players that are affected. And I think with the change, like my example of if I have players that I would play in the weekend, and now some of them play in the midweek, it could just be that that's one game that is affected. But for me, that's 2 game weeks. It could be 2, 3, 4 lineups, and that's very different. And so I think they looked at what they thought was important and missed what was actually important in terms of making the decision.
Wow. Incredibile. Vabbè, ragazzi, fa piacere perché Andrew dice esattamente quello che abbiamo detto noi in questi 2 giorni, quindi cioè uno che c'è così tanto dentro, che ci lavora con Sorare, che dice questa cosa, vuol dire che insomma non eravamo così lontani dalla verità, no Simo?
Si vede che guardo tutti i video loro,
Esatto.
quindi
We knew that probably you were on our side because, like Simone said, we watched all your videos, so we know what do you think about the game. And we agree with you. We agree with you. 100%.
Yeah, I thought maybe after we talked about it on our show on Wednesday that my mind would change, and it didn't. And I've actually gotten more upset than less.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
Of course. Maybe, as we said when we were offline, these changes were made to try to make that in the US more managers are going to enter the game. So what do you think about that? Like the questions that Liborio made. Since you are in the US, in your opinion, what Sorare should do in order to attack the American people? With no success. To me, it seems that they are trying to do it, but with no success.
I don't think the deadline change is for the US audience. I think that's for the European audience in order to get, not even the European, the English audience.
The English ones, the English ones.
Or those who like the Premier League. I think that's the reason. And maybe it works, I don't know. But for more American users, I think that's why they did NBA and MLB. And I think they're going to use, I think a lot of people look at Sorare as 3 different companies: football, NBA, MLB, and it's one. And so because we all started with football, we think we need more people playing football. And so we hope that the NBA people come over to football, and Sorare probably doesn't care. They just want everyone who plays anything. And so I think NBA is the driver for the American audience. And if they don't come to football, I think that's okay, because it's still one company. And if NBA is a big success, then that's good for Sorare as a company. And I think that that football will continue to grow just fine. I don't think that there will ever be a boom of American users for football. Just the way that football is here, it's not. I just don't see it happening, as opposed to NBA, where
you call it in another way. It's soccer. Just the thing. Make it different.
Yes. Yeah. So if I don't think what they do on the football side, they think what's better for Americans, but I do think they do that for NBA and MLB.
Yeah, yeah. Quindi ragazzi, ovviamente non c'entra, come diceva Andrew, anche questa è una cosa che diciamo spesso, il pubblico americano probabilmente non si avvicinerà a Sorare Football, ma noi dobbiamo vedere Sorare anche lì come disegno complessivo, cioè la società è una sola, è a loro che, si deve per loro si deve espandere qualsiasi cosa, quindi indipendentemente che sia calcio o meno come core dell'azienda. Quindi o come Andrew ci raccontava, NBA e MLB saranno, diciamo così, come dire, le teste d'ariete sul mercato americano. Poi che la cosa abbia avuto successo fino a questo momento o no, questo non è detto. Like Bradibo said, poi Simo ti lascio la parola, it looks like American audience didn't come so much for the moment to NBA or MLS, looking at the numbers. What do you think about that?
So early on, most of the NBA users were Sorare football users,
Yeah,
and so
of course.
that is right. It takes time for people to become aware that Sorare NBA exists, and they've been doing more lately to get the word out. They had the NBA game in Paris yesterday,
Yes.
and I think that's starting to get people aware of Sorare NBA. I haven't looked at the recent data. We can look into it and see how many people are just playing NBA. But there are. I talked to a number of people who played NBA Top Shot, who now play Sorare NBA, and it's steadily growing. I agree, it's not big yet, although the free game has almost 100,000 lineups
Yeah.
every
Yeah.
week. That seems like a lot. And so for a game that's only existed for 3 months. And so I think it'll just take time for people. If it had been 2 years ago when everybody was trying to get any NFT, then maybe NBA takes off. But given the global economy and where NFTs are, it's understandable that it's a little slower. But I think
Yeah.
NBA is going to be a very big success.
So someone at the beginning when Sorare introduced NBA and MLB was talking about that there could be some little problems, issues with the gambling laws in the US. That's correct.
Yeah, the US has very complicated gambling laws
Ah,
that
okay.
different areas have different laws. And so I can gamble on I can place bets, but my brother who lives somewhere else cannot.
Ah,
And it's difficult for Sorare because they offer the game worldwide. And so when they got the NBA deal, it just is this gambling kind of comes up. And so I think they do all they can to make it not gambling. Every country is going to decide themselves what it is. But no, I mean, there are countries that probably look at Sorare and think, yes, that's gambling. And there are others that say, no, it's not. And so it's just it's a difficult thing to deal with as a company that wants to be in every country in the world,
yeah.
because not every country is, they all have different laws. And so the NBA, I think that's one of the reasons why we think there are no ETH rewards in NBA and MLB,
Yeah.
because maybe it looks like gambling and they don't want it to even look like gambling. But I don't know.
Ok ragazzi, quindi vabbè, ho fatto un po' di cose complessive, poi lascio la parola a Simo ovviamente. Gli ho anche chiesto la famosa questione, che se l'ha detta tante volte, così c'abbiamo Andrew, gliel'abbiamo chiesta, se c'era un problema di leggi sul gambling, ovviamente negli Stati Uniti quando furono introdotti NBA e MLB, ricordo che era una cosa che si era parlato, no, ne avevamo parlato anche con Gugli, e quindi lui conferma che ogni stato degli Stati Uniti d'America sostanzialmente, non c'è una legge federale generale, ogni stato se la rigoverna un po' come gli pare. Quindi Sorare probabilmente per quello, come avevamo anche ovviamente intuito anche noi, non ha messo l'Ethereum come premio, ma dà solo carte per evitarsi 'sto problema. Poi diceva lui, allargando lo spettro, che la questione è che molte altre nazioni in giro per il mondo stanno un po' facendo come gli pare, quindi in alcune nazioni non riesce ad entrare Sorare piuttosto che in un'altra. Mentre quello che appunto gli avevo chiesto prima, cosa si stava parlando prima, che poi mi son confuso, gli ho chiesto 3 miliardi di cose. Vabbè ragazzi, tanto vi risentite il VOD e poi semmai ve lo ritraduciamo. Vai Simo, perché poi quando entro in funzionalità poliglotta è un casino, cioè non mi ricordo tutto. Vai Simo.
Io ho delle domande, cioè una delle domande,
Vai.
sì, diciamo dei quesiti più sulla piattaforma Sorare Data, perché io essendo grande
Oh,
utilizzatore e anche avendolo nel layout dello
Simone is
streaming,
one of the bigger user of Sorare Data, Andrew.
ma soprattutto della parte
Maybe
charts.
9-10 hours a day.
That's more than me. But
La
thank
cosa che
you.
vabbè, it's a great platform, so la cosa, principale che utilizzo, cioè che mi piace guardare è sempre le cose sul mercato, no,
Trading,
sulle market
trading.
charts. E quella parte lì è stata un po', non so se abbandonata, comunque forse non è più una loro priorità sviluppare quella parte, ma secondo me invece era una delle cose più interessanti in assoluto della piattaforma. E, una volta c'era anche una classifica con i manager, quante carte avevano, eccetera, che sono sparite. Volevo chiedergli se stanno pensando di, perfezionare quella, parte del sito, perché ci sono altre piattaforme, tipo Sorare che mettono tante statistiche, o anche Sorare Tools, e secondo me loro potenzialmente lo possono fare molto meglio rispetto a quelle piattaforme lì.
So, allora, Simone make a lot of compliments su Solare Data, and but there is one thing you want to ask you. Why the part of trading with the market charts is now not so developed as it was before? We can saw in it the charts with managers, first manager, second manager, and now we can't see it anymore. Do you think you will develop it in the future, or
Anche con le
not?
medie delle carte per scarsità, quelle cose lì che ci
Yeah,
sono anche
yeah,
sugli
yeah.
altri siti.
Yes, we didn't like the way it we didn't like the way it looked, to be honest. We spend a lot of time on design, and the other problem with that page is that it led to performance problems elsewhere. I don't have the details because I don't know what those guys do anyway. But we are going to rebuild that page, and so
Ah,
it will come
Mh.
back. But it's we have other priorities first. But yes, that is definitely
tornerà.
something. Yeah.
So I will ask you, so which are the priorities? The ones you can talk to us, you can say to us.
We I have to think of how many I can
Yeah,
actually
okay,
say. No.
okay.
One of the tools that we are working a lot on is the lineup builder. And I know
Lineup
that
build.
the lineup builder has a lot, and we've been working a lot on making it better, because there are some things that it's helpful, but um, there are things that we've developed that we are still working on. One of the things we like to do is test things as much as we can before we put them out. And so we're doing that. So the lineup builder, and then a lot of feedback that we get is people wanting more of what's on our website to be in the mobile app. And so a
Okay.
lot of what we're doing in the mobile app will be coming out in the next few weeks. We have a lot that is very close to coming out, and so I don't want to give away too much, but a lot of the stuff that I think will be soon will revolve around the lineup builder.
Quindi lineup builder. There is a question that is attached to what you are saying, Andrew. There is a possibility to see the predictions of the user with the highest reliability rating? Domanda di Fimba. Question from Fimba.
There's a leaderboard now that will show how successful people have been with their lineup predictions. The way that our engine works is those who are better at that have been better at accurately predicting lineups will be weighted more in our calculation. So if you're not very good, if you submit a bunch of projected lineups and they're bad, we're going to start ignoring them. And so it's only the managers who have shown that they are good at projecting lineups. And so that's one of the ways that we're trying to make our that system better. And one of the improvements in the lineup builder includes a way to understand how reliable the projected lineup is.
So we will see also the name of the bet of the managers who are the better to do the prediction or not?
You can see them now, at least those who have had the best accuracy. We break it from overall SO5 league, domestic league. I don't think we do it by club yet. We might do it by club. I'll have to look. But you should be able to see exactly who the best people are.
Okay.
And the idea is that our calculation on starting percentage will be based more on the people at the top of the leaderboard than in the middle and the bottom.
Quindi ragazzi, capito quello che succederà? Sostanzialmente l'algoritmo sta lavorando per togliere chi sostanzialmente non fa le prediction fatte bene o chi trolla e magari mette delle prediction sbagliate apposta
per vendere carte.
O per vendere carte, ovviamente, e quindi poi si vedrà sì, effettivamente chi sta più alto nella classifica di chi poi sommette, sì vabbè, buona, di chi inserisce le line-up game week per game week. Sì, ma hai un'altra domanda? Se no continuiamo che ce ne sono milioni.
C'è quella che volevo fare anche io,
Quella
che
di?
chiedono a me se è sgradevole sulle carte common, che immagino toglieranno dalle perché quando tu selezioni i giocatori che possiedi nella game week ti vengono inseriti anche o in generale quando fai le formazioni ti vengono inserite le carte common e quindi se hanno previsto di
You
levarle,
can't
immagino
let the commons from the screen okay. A lot of people are asking that in the chat.
Yes, we are working on it. It's easier said than done, but yet we agree, and we're working on it. But we have a lot of members on the rookie tier who only play common, and so removing commons as a default, it's one of those, they don't like it, but everyone who does play. But yes, we are working on it, and I agree. Although now with part of that big announcement this week was that commons are going to be going away, or some way going away. So maybe that problem will solve itself.
Yeah.
There is another question that Marco Denisi sent to me. So, are you concerned or maybe a little anxious that Sorare itself implements functions in their platform like you are doing?
I hope they do, because we don't.
Applausi, Simo, qui applausi.
We don't like making tools that we think Sorare should make themselves.
Okay.
Because I do believe that Sorare eventually will make them. And so we spend a lot of time on design and development and testing only to have Sorare do it. It's a waste of time. And I feel like we've gotten better at focusing more on tools we don't think Sorare will do themselves. Um, one of the interesting things that I always go back to are the historical prices that we always have them. You can see how much every card has sold for, and Sorare just introduced that on their own pages, but it kind of emphasized why we do it, because they only show auctions and public offers, and they only show the last 5 or so.
5, sì, 5.
Yeah, and sometimes if we see it more, maybe we won't see it anymore after this, but when you have one of those under 40 specialist players becomes important, and 20 limiteds get bought, you only see the last 5. So it's things like that they're improving on, that I agree with a lot of people that there are tools on Sorare data that should be on Sorare, and I hope they develop them so that we can spend more time making tools that help us get better at Sorare instead of just following Sorare.
Avete capito, ragazzi? Ovviamente la risposta di Andrew è veramente molto importante, anche questa, come molte delle altre che ci ha dato, per il senso generale di come va fatto, secondo me, il lavoro in questo ambito, quindi relazione fra Sorare e le third party che ci lavorano intorno. Cioè, lui giustamente dice che non vogliono fare tool che Sorare poi potrà fare per conto proprio, insomma, cioè, quindi anche perché ci sono cose che loro sanno fare meglio ovviamente di Sorare, e portava l'esempio appunto delle ultime vendite e di quali sono i dati che Sorare ci fa vedere rispetto a quelli che ci fa vedere Sorare Data. Quindi loro continueranno a implementare tools che Sorare probabilmente non inserirà mai. Poi ci sono cose, su questo siamo d'accordo tutti, ragazzi, che dovrebbe darci in automatico la piattaforma, non le third party a pagamento. Che dici, Simo?
Sì, quello che sono d'accordo con quello che dici, ovviamente. Nel senso che poi ha detto anche proprio alla fine che loro vogliono più concentrarsi sul migliorare tu come manager, cioè su tool che ti fanno migliorare come manager, anziché concentrarsi solo su cose che ti fanno seguire che cosa succede su Sorare. Quello dovrebbe già fare la piattaforma di suo, no?
Yeah. Okay. When player comparison, the people are asking in the chat.
I'd like to ask the chat, how many players would you want to compare at once?
Wow, grande, ragazzi. Allora, Andrew ci ribalta la domanda e ci chiede: quanti giocatori alla volta volete che sia possibile paragonare a Sorare Data? Wow, great.
So we agree with this, that it's like we're working on this, and we had this whole conversation of, are you comparing 2 players to buy? Are you comparing 2 players to play in a lineup? Are you
Okay.
comparing 3 players? Are you comparing one player who's a rare and another who's a super rare versus 2 others that are 2 super rares?
Wow.
There's a lot you can compare, and so we wanted to build something that allowed you to compare everything that you want to compare instead of just 2 players and stats. Do you want to compare 2 players' prices or their SO5 scores?
Wow.
So there's a lot that you can compare. But one of the questions that we ask ourselves is, like, how many players do you actually want to compare, and how many is too many at that point?
Quindi, ragazzi, ovviamente Andrew vi ha rigirato la domanda, voi avete risposto, magari Andrew le potrà leggere. You can read the answers, Andrew, if you want, from the guys on the chat. E lui dice: bisogna capire se volete paragonare quelli che giocano nelle lineup, i prezzi, 2, 3, uno raro e 2 super rari. Cioè, ha fatto una serie di esempi pazzeschi, ovviamente, perché può
Vogliono fare un tool
succedere
flessibile, diciamo.
esatto,
Il
probabilmente
cui
la strada sarà quella, Simo, no?
Sì, che ha detto, cioè praticamente l'unica limitazione che stanno pensando al tool di comparazione è legata alla
Numero.
quantità di cioè quanti giocatori insieme, comparare, però vorrebbero fare una cosa più flessibile possibile, come ha spiegato. Cioè che puoi comparare i prezzi, puoi comparare le performance delle diverse scarsità, eccetera. Che infatti ma è, nel loro stile diciamo, quindi
Ci
sempre delle
sta.
cose che ti lasciano molta libertà di analisi, no?
Will it be possible to work on single data and not on the general all around of a player? Che domanda è,
Um,
Fuffo? Ripetila, non si capisce bene.
Ah,
is
forse
that like
intende se
a specific stats of
yeah,
players, or
yeah,
Yeah, I think so.
we have that now. If you go to a player page and you click on either the player's team or the player's league, you'll see
yeah.
all the Sorare stats from that team or league all in one page.
Wow.
That's one of the reasons we contracted with Opta, so that we could have those stats directly on our site.
Is Sorare Sorare data hiring is full remote possible?
So yes,
Liborio, thanks for the question.
yes, we are. If you go to Sorare Data, and on the bottom it says we have a few openings. They're mostly for developers, but
Yeah.
I think we have a design opening as well for MLB, and everyone is remote. None of us live in the same place, and so most of the staff is in France, but we have some in other countries, and including me. And so, yes, full remote not only is possible, it's the only way you can work here.
Max is one of our best crazy guys in the community. If they are dimensional thinkers, I'm sure I'm the best one. And someone is saying we need to see a Milan badge added to Andrew's background.
I'll make sure my children draw these, so I'll have them work on that one.
Yeah.
Wow. Comunque, ragazzi, se non avete altre domande, vi lascerei andare Andrew, ragazzi. È un'oretta che ce l'abbiamo, non voglio rubargli altro tempo. Magari sparate un'ultima domanda finale. E poi I was asking the chat if they have a last question for you.
Io c'ho una domanda, chiedigli quando torna.
Simone was asking when you will come back in our live.
Oh, whenever, yeah. This is what I do. So I'd love to talk about Sorare, and unfortunately, I probably will not be able to learn Italian before then. But as long as we can translate, that would be great.
So the last question, okay, let's see if this one is good. A great thing is Sorare data is that you can see the graph of how many 70, 80 plus, 90 plus a player had in the past game. If it's possible to have something like that in Player Finder.
Yes, I don't know if the Player Finder is the right spot for it. Maybe it is, but that is something that we've gotten feedback on, that just that, how many players have scored 90 in the last 40 game week in the L40, how many have scored 85. So yes, that is something that we are trying to develop. Yes.
Wow. Allora, ragazzi, questa domanda è incredibile, grazie a Linge, e Andrew ha risposto. So, Andrew, sorry for my approximate English, but thank you. We do really appreciate to have you here with us, all the Italian community.
No, thank you for having me.
Sorare is not considering a lot. We can say it. There was no content, no Italian content creator in Sorare NBA event yesterday. I don't know why, but we are the second largest community of Sorare in the world after the French one. So
I think that's right. Yeah. No, thank you for having me, and thank you for all that you do. Sorare is a lot more enjoyable because of people like you guys who talk about it and allow other people to talk about it. I don't have many friends in real life who play Sorare, and so it's nice to find other people.
Us too.
in-
Us too.
yeah.
Me neither. Me neither.
And so it's nice to find other people that have a passion for this, because it's a lot of fun, and it allows us to do things that we didn't always think was possible. And so thank you as well.
We wait you as soon as possible. Bye bye, Andrew. Thanks a lot.
Thank you.
Thank you. Ragazzi, pazzesco.